Update. Am I the a-hole for possibly making my parents homeless? Original post. This isn't just me. It also includes my twin brother. My brother and I, 17 male, were an accidental pregnancy. For context, our oldest sibling is 37 and has a kid who goes to our high school, and our nearest sibling in age is 28. My parents always made it clear that we weren't supposed to exist. They were never abusive or neglectful or anything, but they were kind of cold our whole childhood. My brother and I will graduate high school in about a week and will be 18 in 2 weeks. My parents have told us that as soon as we turn 18, we will have to pay rent. Neither of us have jobs, and we probably won't be able to get jobs right now. I confided in my sister that I'm really stressed about this, and she offered to let my brother and I stay with her while we're in university, completely free of charge. I'm really grateful for this, and we're planning on accepting her offer. I told my parents about this, and they freaked out. I guess my mom was planning to move to part-time work, and they needed rent from my brother and I to keep up with rent. They said that they have provided for us our whole lives, and we should pay them back now that we're almost adults. I mean, it's true. They have given us everything we needed for 18 years, and I really don't want them to be homeless if they can't afford the rent. But I don't know how I would even afford to live with them. Am I the a-hole? Edit. My brother and I both have some savings, so we could conceivably pay rent for a few months. I also feel guilty moving in with my sister because she has 3 little kids and a cat to take care of, and I don't want to put any extra strain on her. None of my siblings have a great relationship with our parents, so my parents won't ask them for help. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole. Your parents are completely in the wrong. They have 6 children, 4 of whom are actual adults. Their life plan is relying on 2 not even 18 years old financially? That makes no sense. You do not owe your parents anything, to be quite honest. Whether or not you were an accident, you are their child, and in that regard, they owe you. You do not owe them by virtue of them having birthed you. If they need financial assistance, they should go to their adult children. Don't worry about getting a job. Worry about your education and your emotional well-being. Go and live with your sister, and let your parents figure their own lives out. That's not your responsibility. There are actually 6 of us. I have 4 adult siblings plus my twin brother. Thanks. I was worried about going to school and working to pay rent, but I guess I should just take the good things that come to me. Also, I really don't want them to be homeless if they can't afford the rent. They'll still be able to afford rent like I presume they do now, if your mother doesn't go part-time like she plans to do. They're just trying to guilt-trip you. Not the a-hole. They're trying to take advantage of you. When I turned 18, my parents would have let me stay with them for free, if that was what I needed while going to school. They shouldn't be using you and your brother for extra income. Live with your sister. Not the a-hole, and by the way, OP, making your children feel like an unplanned accident and then demanding rent from them, possibly robbing them of their independence and future, is abuse. It is. Stay with your sister and leave them to figure it out. I also feel guilty moving in with my sister because she has 3 little kids and a cat to take care of, and I don't want to put any extra strain on her. Remember this, and make sure you're both cleaning up after yourselves and helping around the house when you can. If you can contribute and actually help her, you have nothing to feel guilty of. Go to college and be great. Not the a-hole. Edit number 2. I'm actually shocked by the support here. I've been talking it over with my brother, and we're going to move out as soon as we legally can. Thanks, guys. Now for the update. Hey, folks. It's been like 3 weeks and many things have happened. I graduated high school and turned 18, and I moved out. I finally feel like I'm adulting, kind of. I moved in with my sister the day after my birthday, and I've been living with her for a bit over 2 weeks. It's been really weird. They do all of this stuff in her house that we never did as kids. Family dinners every night? Never done it once until now. My sister and her fiancé carve out blocks of time to spend with the kids. My parents never did that. My oldest nephew, he's 10, dropped an open can of pineapple in the kitchen a few days ago. I expected him to get yelled at, but my sister just helped him clean it up and told him to grab a new can from the pantry. That was weird. My parents were never that chill. When I was a kid, I would see these perfect families on TV. Shout out to Dinosaur Train, LMAO. But my parents always told me that those kinds of parents didn't exist. That it was all made up for TV. That real parents don't take that much of an interest in their kids' lives and interests. And I believed them until now. In the past few weeks, I've seen my sister and her fiancé spend hours making model planes with my oldest nephew, or rocking the youngest to sleep when she was overtired. That stuff never happened when I was a kid. My niece, she's 4, woke up in the middle of the night last week, crying about something. Instead of telling her to shut the heck up and go to bed, my sister's fiancé got up and sat with her until she fell asleep. I guess I was just surprised that my experiences aren't the norm. Anyway, both my brother and I are doing really well here. My brother has been cooking a lot, is going to culinary school, and everyone seems to really appreciate it. I've been spending time with my nieces and nephew, and I have played more Minecraft these past 2 weeks than I think I've played in my entire life. If anyone knows what Titanfall 2 is, please help me out. I've been an adult for less than a month, and these children and their newfangled video games already confuse me. This is all just a very long-winded way to say thanks. If I had it posted here, I don't think I would have moved out. My savings would basically be drained, and I wouldn't be as happy as I am now. So thank you. Now I guess it's time to see if I can figure out how to do an update post. Edit. Shout out to my sister for basically raising me for 12 years, and also being an amazing parent. I could just go and say all this to her face, but there's so many stairs in this house and I'm lazy. Kalani, how many times am I going to have to say it before you accept that you're a good person? Every time I go to thank you for giving up space in your house for me and Cam, you say that if you didn't help us out, it would have been someone else. I get that you have strangely low self-esteem, as evidenced by our AITA post, but please just accept that you're an unbelievably good person and move on, so I can finally thank you. So you can't come downstairs to compliment me, but you can come downstairs to tell me to go upstairs to get my phone, and then come back downstairs so you can see my reaction to you complimenting me? I see how it is. Honestly, I'm just happy you're here. I told you before, me and Michael and Daniel have been waiting so long to move you guys out of that house. I'm just the one who has the available rooms. If Michael wasn't overseas, it would have been him. If Daniel had another room, it would have been him. But anyway, love you both. It's been really nice to have some extra hands around the house, especially with Cam and his cooking. I see why he's going culinary school. The kids love you. Ethan thinks you are great. Even Aris likes you, and that's pretty darn rare. Keep being the person you are, and I think this arrangement is going to work out fantastic. Edit? Okay, everyone just come over and we can have pie and hot chocolate. Love you all, and remember, who your family is doesn't define you. So you can write this whole super sappy reply to me, but you can't look up and say it to me? I'm literally sitting on the same couch as you. I am sorry you have never felt what a loving home and loving parents felt like. I am glad that even at 18, you and your brother are getting to experience that. I hope you will carry it forward if you have a family someday. What's going on with your parents? Did y'all cut them off? I did not cut them off. They're not homeless, and now that I think about it, they're probably not going to be. Despite people telling me to cut them out of my life, I feel like I haven't reached a point where that would be an appropriate reaction. Yeah, the sub can be extreme sometimes. They don't need to be cut off as some may have suggested, but they definitely did not seem like good parents to you and your brother at all. There were at least 4 to 5 things alone that had me shaking my head with, reading your original post that you made here. I'd only consider cutting them off if they continue to be toxic to you and your brother going forward, which is definitely possible. Last story. Update. Am I the a-hole for calling my stepdad out for being a hypocrite at my sister's birthday dinner? Original post. I, 22, female, I'm my mom's 39, oldest child. She met my stepdad when she was 19 and he was 27. They were married a year later and went on to have my siblings Nate, 18 male, Amy, 17 female, and Tina, 15 female. It's not a secret that I don't like my stepdad. My mom was a vulnerable teenager when she met him and he was a grown man. He made her quit school and become a housewife, all while isolating her from her family. I left at 18 because I couldn't stand seeing him with her. I hate how he talks to her and how he's treated her their entire relationship. I visit when it's working, so I don't have to see him but still get to see my family. So the dislike I have for him is obvious. My sister Tina had a birthday dinner a few days ago, and she really wanted me and my boyfriend, 24, to be there. So despite my dislike for my stepdad, I went because I want my little sister to be happy. At the dinner, somehow the fact that my boyfriend is 24 was mentioned, and my stepdad made a face before asking him, "You don't think it's inappropriate to date someone who can hardly legally drink?" I think all the years of quiet resentment just bubbled over because I didn't even think about it before I asked him if he developed those morals before or after he started dating a vulnerable teen mom when he was nearly 30. He got really red in the face, and my mom very quickly changed the subject. The next morning, I got a text from my mom saying that my stepdad doesn't want me coming over to the house anymore, even when he isn't there. Apparently, he made that announcement to my siblings too, and since then, both my sisters have started giving him the silent treatment. My brother texted saying he agrees with me and wishes our mom would leave his dad too, but I shouldn't have done that at Tina's birthday dinner. My boyfriend agrees with my brother, but I talked to Tina and as far as she's concerned, nothing I said was inaccurate, and she thinks her dad should have kept his mouth shut if he didn't want me calling him out. The whole extended family found out about it though, so now my stepdad's mom is accusing me of lashing out at him because my mother never married my father, so they think I'm just jealous apparently. The whole thing is an absolute mess, and I'm being called an a-hole for ruining my sister's birthday dinner. So am I? Now for the top comments before reading the update. In Dutch we say, he got a cookie made from his own dough. Not the a-hole at all. No lies were told. I applaud you for that amazing comment. He calls you out but surprised Pikachu face when he gets called out? He's a hypocrite. Not the a-hole. Is your family mad because they found out what actually happened? Or because stepdad told them his version? Because, yeah, he's literally guilty of what he's preaching. I'd make sure they're not just being fed an altered version of real events. Stand your ground. It won't matter. They sound like the type that family trumps all. It'll take an acre of God, Congress, and Shiva acting in concert to change their minds. Not the a-hole. Maybe the birthday dinner wasn't the most appropriate time, but all you did was speak the truth. 27-year-olds only date teenagers because they can't find someone their own age to put up with them. I hope your mom comes to her senses and leaves him. I hope she'll leave him too. She deserves so much better than that man. Has your mom got the resources to leave him? Is she financially dependent upon him for everything in the family? It is extremely difficult to leave long-term abusive relationships, especially when the power ratio has always been on the user's side. Your mom needs help to get out of this situation for good, as she was 19 years old and never had an equal partnership with this man, and she has probably been ground down for all these years. Are you able to help her get out for good? Please help her, as she probably can't do it by herself. I just made an update post about the situation, but I'm more than willing to provide anything my mother needs to get out. I don't think she wants that for herself though. Now for the update. Okay, clearly a lot has happened, so I'm just going to try to summarize what I can. I really don't want to go into a lot of details about this, mainly because I feel like a lot of this is a bit too much info to share on the internet. I originally just wanted to know if I messed up at a birthday party, and now it's turned into so much more. My brother, my middle sister Amy, and I all use Reddit. It's why I made this account. I didn't want them to find the last post, but my brother did end up seeing it shortly after I made it, and he sent it to my middle sister, who then amped up on dropping comments to our mom about checking Reddit out for herself. Amy said she was hoping mom would see the post and get a dose of reality from POV in the comments, or even stumble upon a relationship advice forum and find clarity there. Mom's not big in social media, but she's wanted to get into it a bit. So I guess Amy thought this was a good time to encourage her. Long story short is that my mom made a post a day-ish after I did, and she found my post because people pointed out the similarities and someone linked it. Someone else also sent her post to me. My mom and I sit down and talk like many of you suggested. She is fine and my siblings are okay too. My siblings and I have expressed how we feel about my stepdad/their dad, but obviously we can't do anything for our mom unless she's willing to do it herself. I will always have space for my family in my home, and I've sent money to my mom to help out with the kids before, so it's not like I'm unable to provide her with some financial assistance to get away if she needed it. I do talk to my mom's sister and she knows about the situation too, because I've pretty much vented to her about it my entire childhood, so I gave my mom her number just in case. Bottom line is that mom is not planning on divorcing/leaving her husband, though we all wish she would change her mind. I do want to thank all of you who are kind and offered genuine advice. I'm hoping that a few years from now my mom will get away from him, and she and I can laugh at the fact that we accidentally cross-posted different POVs of the birthday dinner that led to her leaving a crappy marriage. Like I said, I don't want to say too much else for privacy reasons. I originally just expected a few opinions, but this got way bigger than that, and I'm way too uncomfortable with an audience. so I probably won't be back with any other major updates. I'm just going to focus on my siblings and leave the door open for my mom if/when she accepts it. Not the update I was hoping for, but at least she's not angry with you. And hopefully in time, she realizes she's better off without that man in her life. She'll only see how bad it is when he's not there, and she wonders why her precious little angels don't give her the time of day. Only then will she ask why she was abandoned, only to see that this was the bed she made and now it's time to sleep in it. But don't lose any more sleep over her. She ain't worth it. Sounds like your mom knows he was in the wrong for opening his mouth on age gaps. She clearly understands that you can't force your kids to like your partner. The only place she's wrong is by not putting her foot down and telling him he has no say in it if you can't be in her home. And if he wants that to be the hill he dies on, he can lose his wife and kids because clearly your sibs are on your side. It's clear that no one who matters really blames you. Hopefully, your mom realizes that she deserves better and you deserve to be treated better as well.